Hi guys, welcome back to a new preview for the Champions League this season. And today we're going to start previewing the Spanish team, starting with Atletico Madrid. So Atletico Madrid's current form has been, up and down, but pretty good form since the restart. 2-2 draw against Barcelona as highlights, but they've been pretty steady and finished third of the Liga, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been pretty decent, a very Atletico style, They haven't been scoring tons of goals, but they've been solid at back and, scoring the goals that they need to. So we'll start off a sort of negative question for this is Simeone's strategy to win the Champions League still a good one? This question meaning, is the Atletico style of play good to win the Champions
League? I think it is. I think it's really a strategy that relies on team effort and the whole team building. I think it's good because it kind of tires the opponent, not just physically but mentally, because it just stop attack after attack after attack, and then end up playing not only just counterattacks but really well-built counterattacks with the quick passes up and down the flanks. And I think it's a type of strategy that could go a long way.
Yeah, likewise, their sort of defensive strategies really tire down teams. And they don't necessarily have to be particularly offensive in, for example, the first half, even maybe the first 3/4 of the game, because they're one of those teams, you see it quite rarely, that can invite the other team to attack but not actually concede. You see lots of teams fail with this strategy, but Atletico seem to have a way of sort of inviting teams to attack, tiring out teams with a very solid defense and CDMs. Very solid defense, central defensive midfield. And then they can strike on the counter-attack when the team that's playing them eventually gives up a loose ball or gives them the slightest opportunity. So I see them being a legitimate threat for every team this season. We saw how they tore down a very good Liverpool side, tiring them out, especially in extra time. I mean, that was a consequence, I think, of them inviting Liverpool on for the first part of the game. And I think they could be contenders for the title.
Yeah, I think I asked this question because, of course, Atletico have been in 2 Champions League finals and lost both. Now, looking back at them now, kind of feels, the first one was maybe the players were super tired after a long season. Second one, lost on penalties. But yeah, I agree with you guys. As in, I think Atletico's style of play, it would be great to see it go all the way and to win them a title, because it's such a different style of play from ones of teams who have already won the Champions League. It seems like in a while, so it would be interesting for football to finally see such a radically different strategy win a big European tournament. So, yes, moving on to the team now. I think Atletico is one of Atletico's sort of negative points is the lack of a real goal scorer. You saw both times they went into the Champions League finals, they had, prime Diego Costa, arguably, and a top Antoine Griezmann at top of his form. You look at the team this year, you've got declining Diego Costa, you got Morata, which arguably is a good striker. So begs the question, do Atletico have enough offensive power to win the Champions League?
That is the key question. I think partly yes, because they have the new addition of João Felix, but at the same time it's not very attacking. It's more like midfield. So I think Atletico have enough of a midfield to create chances, but I think the key for them is going to be set pieces and counter attacks. May they have like a good striker or not, I think that's going to be the key. The key is all their attacks are going to have to start from the defense, and I think that's the strong point. That's what they're going to have to focus on.
Yeah, so I think with Atletico, in contrast to what we said about Chelsea in one of our previous videos, don't need as much brute force in their attacks because of their opportunistic style of play. Their solid defense means that basically they need to be lethal on the counter, but they don't need to be sort of breaking down. You don't need to have a strategy like Liverpool where you really wear teams down, where you have tens of shots on target. You know, you're really properly attacking the teams because they take advantage of the opportunities they have. And João Felix is a very talented player. Arguably, he hasn't scored as much as people expected in the Liga this season, but he's still a very credible threat. And other players like Morata, Llorente, have caused problems for big teams so far. So why not?
Yeah, I'm maybe a bit less optimistic purely because of the fact it is the Champions League, and every team right now until the final is going to be top quality, and you can't have a Morata who's going to miss a golden opportunity, whether it be in the semi-finals or the quarterfinals. And we know Morata is prone to the big miss here and there, you know? So, except if, of course, Morata has the run of games of his life, it's going to be a bit problematic for me because 2 times Atletico did go to the final, they had world-class attacking options, you know? Griezmann now, of course, Barcelona was a bit different, but that season when they went to Champions League, he was world-class. I don't know if you guys remember his goals against Bayern Munich, and, you know, he was big. So I think it's actually a bigger problem than we think when it goes down to semi-finals and finals. That's where we'll see if Morata or Diego Costa or another player can step up to the plate. So brings us to our match preview against Leipzig. We talked about Leipzig the last video. Weren't very positive about them. Should Atletico fear Leipzig in any way?
I think we should fear them. I mean, you can never be too careful and too wary of your opponents. I think, as I said in the last video, the key is for Atletico to keep their focus. As long as they keep their focus, their hard work, and their tight defense, I think they have nothing to worry about. But yeah, it's. I think the only thing that could happen and that could cost them is them having a mistake of their own and just not focusing enough on the game and taking it too light-handed.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I don't see Atletico losing to Leipzig, but obviously, as always in football, you need to be sure to not get too complacent about beating teams, especially if you take the lead. I mean, that in my opinion was Liverpool's main mistake when they were knocked out a few months ago in the last 16. But yeah, I think we'll know a lot more after seeing how they perform in the Champions League after the restart. But I am optimistic, very optimistic about their chances against Leipzig.
Yeah, same as you guys. You don't really see Atletico Madrid taking a team lightly because, you know, I think Simeone is a good coach to make the players understand where they are and how important it is to go far. So yeah, I don't think Leipzig will be that big of a problem. So it brings us to our last segment. Idris, Atletico Madrid, Champions League winners 2020 or lose in the final once again?
Atletico Madrid, Champions League finalists.
Okay.
I think when you look at the teams on their side, I think they're gonna beat Leipzig. They're gonna come up against Paris Saint-Germain or Atalanta, which I think since it's only a one way leg, I think that's really gonna benefit their defensive style play. And I think a team like Atlanta, who's just all out attack, has not faced such a good defensive team yet this season. Even if it is PSG, I can really see Atletico just grabbing that counter-attack goal and just working hard and defending the whole game. And yeah, I see them going to the final, losing in the final, but going to the final.
Yeah, it's the same for me. Obviously, if they were on the other side of the quarterfinal draw, it'd be a very different story. But like we said a minute ago, I see them beating Leipzig. We all do. I also feel like they would beat Paris Saint-Germain or Atlanta without too much trouble, to be honest. Paris are always a team that have underperformed in the Champions League, and domestic football in France hasn't happened in quite a long time. That will also work against them, I think. So yeah, I'd have to agree with Idris and say that they will make it to the final. I don't think they'll win the final because of the teams that they would potentially be up against.
Yeah, I don't agree with you guys. I don't think Atletico will get past the semis purely, and we'll talk about this later, but about Paris Saint-Germain's attacking force, etc. But yeah, I don't think Atletico have enough offensive power to make it past. I feel like if they concede 1 or 2 goals, I struggle to see Atletico going all out attack and getting there, especially because it's one game. You're not going to be able to lose the game 2-1 and say it's all right. There's the away leg next. So I don't think Atletico can adapt that quickly in the same game to be able to go all the way. Again, yeah, we'll see it prove wrong, but for me, it stops in the semifinals. So thanks. That's third video wrap done. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for another preview of a Spanish team that isn't in great form at the moment. So we'll see you then. Bye.